Okay everyone, we are changing out the rear brake pads on a 2010 Ford Edge. Some of the tools you'll need to do this job would be jack, an impact if you have one, 14mm socket wrench, C-clamp, a tire iron, depending on if the lug nuts are on too tight. Let's get started. Okay, first what you're going to do is take your jack, come up under the SUV, and there's a little mark right here. Tells you where to put your jack. You're going to put it along this bar right here. That's where my jack's going to end up. It's a support column, so it's not going to bend the metal up any. And then just start lifting the SUV up. Now, if you don't have an impact wrench, you want to lift the SUV up just a little bit and do not get the tire off the ground. And you're going to loosen the lug nuts up with the tire iron. But I have an impact wrench, so I can go on and lift it off the ground to get this tire off. Go on and take this tire off real quick. You didn't want to take the lug nuts all the way off because the tire will fly off. Take the lug nuts out. Now you're ready for your next step. Okay, once you have the tire off, you're going to take your 14mm socket and you're going to release the two caliper bolts. One here, and there's one on the bottom here. You're going to put the socket on the bolt, trying to do this with one hand, and you hit up. Should undo the sockets. Okay. And when you're undoing the bolt, do not take it all the way out, because if you take it all the way out and you try to undo the bottom bolt, the caliper is just going to flop over and not give you leverage, and you won't be able to undo the bottom bolt here. So leave this one about halfway in until you get this one out. Okay, once you have the two bolts out of the caliper, it should just slide right off. Might need a flathead screwdriver. Oh, there it goes. Okay, comes right off. Now what you want to do is you're going to take the brake pads out. Got one on each side. Comes out. Now you're going to replace them with the new ones. And also, when you're putting the new brake pad in, it's a little bit rough with these hairpins here, these hair clips. So you're going to have to line it up and push the pin in with the brake. And you're going to have to shove it pretty hard to get it to clip in on these hairpins. And then you're going to do the same with the other side. Okay, once you get your back brake pad in, okay, should look like this when it's done, if it aligns up correctly. You're ready to push your brake seal back in using your C-clamp. Okay, I have my C-clamp on my brake seal. I am going to compress it back in with one hand. I'm going to see how this works. See it going back down? That's what you want. You want it to be flush with the edge. Now once you compress it, it's ready to be put back on over the brakes. And how do you know you're done is when you can't turn your C-clamp handle anymore. You know it's all the way down. Now your caliper is ready to be put back on over your brake pads. Make sure these bolts line up right here, because you're going to put your bolt back in. Tighten the calipers down. Now you want to put both of them back in while you're tightening them too, because If you don't, it's going to be hard to tighten one side because it's going to rise up and down, up and down. So you want to make sure you have both caliper bolts back in the pins here. As you're tightening the bolts back up on the caliper, it's important. Get them snug, but don't like hammer them on. That should be about as hard as you need to bolt them down. They don't need to be like hammered on real tight. Okay, and then once you get done with the bottom one, we're ready to put your tire back on. When putting the tire back on, make sure it's not wobbly. Make sure it is flush against your hub. Sure it's flush, and what I like to do, everybody has a different way, but I like to go on and start my lug nuts just so I know the tire won't fall off on my foot, won't fall off and roll away. I know it's on there if you start them. Have the tire where you want it. Just tighten the bolts back up. Line them back up to where the tire's snug. Now, guys, I wasn't hammering it when you're hearing that noise because this thing is honestly only torqued out to 20 pounds right now. I have it on light, so if you have an impact wrench, don't hammer them on. If you do, make sure it's on the low torque, because you could break these studs off. That's why I always use this to put them on real quick, but I tighten them up with a tire iron to make sure I'm not over torquing them, because SUV, I think it might be 40 to 60 pounds of torque. I'm not sure, but you don't want to break these studs off because they're a pain to put back on. You get ready to tighten the tire down, you're gonna undo your jack a little to where the tire is touching the ground so you can tighten your lug nuts. Done tightening up the wheel, set it all the way on the ground, pull your jack out. You're done. That's how you change the back brake pads on a 2010 Ford Edge. This video helped you out, hit that subscribe button for me. I'm gonna go in and get something to drink because it's like 90 degrees out here right now, but more videos to come. It's Andy's Garage. Thank you.